Hello guys, today we're going to talk about how to make a functional 3D printable phone stand either for your own purposes or for someone else, or if you want to sell it, you can do whatever you want with it. So let's get started. First, I'm going to sketch the shape that I actually want. So the way I want it to look like, and this is not according to measurement, so you can change the measurements as you would like. This is just for demonstration purposes. So we're going to offset entities, which is basically like making an outline of what we have. So I don't want this to be too thick, so let's say it's going to be 0.3. So always remember to connect your sketches, because if you don't, then you're going to have an open sketch and then you can't extrude anything. See here, I misclicked and now it's not connected, so we're going to trim it and then connect it properly. Okay, so once it's shaded in, that means it's fully defined and it's closed. So now I want to make these edges a little more smooth. So we're going to use the fillet feature. So click, and then I want this to be, let's test it out. So we can make this maybe 0.5. This looks decent enough. I'm going to select this also, this, and this. And if you want, you can also make this round just for aesthetic purposes. And make sure that first you select these, because see, the radius that I selected, 0.5 inches, is too big for these, so we're going to do something different. So here's our fillet. And now I'm going to create a fillet for this. So let's start with something small, maybe 0.2. Yeah, see how it's already really big? So we're going to make it 0.1 maybe. Okay, and this 0.1. And let's say I like this. I'm going to do the same thing on the other side. And I'm also going to fillet these two for aesthetic purposes. What do we have? Yeah, I think we had like a 0.5 on there. So let's keep it that way. So now that I have my sketch, I also want a horizontal line over here just for stability purposes. So I can create this in multiple ways, but the way I want to do it is just through a sketch, because I think that's the easiest way to do it. And make sure you have this yellow mark that shows that it's perpendicular. So I'm gonna make it pretty thick, just so that we have a good amount of stability. Again, make sure your sketches connect. Now to connect the entire thing, I need to trim this and this. Okay. And let's fillet this also. Okay. So now what I want to do is I want to extrude the entire thing. So I'm going to select sketch 1, click extruded boss base, and now it's been extruded. So I want this to be pretty wide, so let's start by 5 inches. This looks pretty good to me, so obviously do measure your phone and figure out how big you want this to be. This is just for demonstration purposes. I like this, so we're going to keep it. Alright. And this is pretty much ready. So if you want to print it like this, you are going to export it as an STL file and send it to your 3D printer. If you don't know how to do that, you can also watch my other videos on exporting as an STL file. If you're doing this as a model for something else, and let's say you want to make it pretty and you need to present it, let's do some very simple rendering on this. Photo view, render tools, edit appearance. I want this to be plastic. Let's say I just want it to be glossy like this. Or maybe I want it to be just a different color that's solid. So you can also make it something like this if you want. Okay. And now if you need to export the way that this looks, I usually do either preview window or a final render, depending on how much your computer can handle. So here we have a brief preview of what our model is going to look like. Obviously this is not in full resolution. If you do need full resolution, you can save the preview image here, then it's going to look much more clear. But yeah, this is what it's going to look like as our final product. And I used to have this misconception when I started. Whatever you render it as, obviously it's not going to be the color that it 3D prints as. So the color that it's going to be is the color of the resin that you have. Sometimes it's easy to get confused, so just to let you know. And here we go. This is our